Hello, hello.
What's up?
How was your week?
Week has been, it's been a little rough. Got a little sick. Got hit by wind.
You love talking about wind.
I love talking about
Yeah,
wind.
yeah. We should go over that with them in different
We will.
conversation.
We will.
Dedicate the entire conversation to wind.
All about wind.
Okay.
Huge concept in Chinese medicine too.
It is, yeah. That's the same thing for, it's the character in Feng Shui, right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Same as that character. Yep.
Alright. We've got to save that conversation though.
This will be a good
Yeah,
one.
because I want to talk about something a little bit more pressing for me. Like it kept coming up for me this week, so I want to talk about
Let's
that.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the Chi Talks. He says, she says. Detox to noise so ancient medicine becomes real life. I'm one of your co-hosts. I'm Michelle.
I'm your other co-host, Jeff.
And I want to welcome you guys, our Yin Yangs.
Hey.
Okay, that wasn't very exciting. Okay, hold on.
I gotta put more juice into
I
this.
know. Okay. I hope you're okay with Yin Yangs because like I'm sticking with it. Yeah.
It's going on me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Let it
Going
grow
on.
faster. Do you use some fertilizer with it?
Alright.
Okay. First of all, you guys watching, joining us in our conversations are now lovingly our Yin Yangs. And there is a reason why. Okay, I promise there's a reason why and I'll get into it. But do you have any idea why I am pushing for Yin Yangs?
I have an idea why.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell me your thought.
Because of how foundational it is to all of Chinese medicine.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
Okay, what's the other reason?
One, it sounds cool. So
Okay,
later on,
catchy, yeah.
when I have merch for them, be it the Yin Yangs,
Uh-huh.
think about how cool we can make that.
Cool design.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I would love to gift our Yin Yang fan. But yes, I love the concept of Yin Yang because it represents everything in life, right?
Yes.
What goes up must come down. Darkness, lightness, evil, good, bad, everything. Just there's a flow and they coexist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like our Yin Yangs. They're a part of this conversation. They're a part of our journey. They're a part of our growth. And so fundamentally, you guys are part of us. And now we're part of you too.
Yeah, without you guys, we would not be doing this show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But Yin Yang is not an easy concept. Oh, I hear the deep breath. Okay.
Not at all.
So, yeah.
It is the extreme end of simplicity
Mm-hmm.
and also the extreme end of complexity.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So
like
it's everything,
Yeah.
everywhere, all at once. Was that a shameless plug?
Please don't sue us. This is a conversation between two friends.
Yeah. But that's it's a really apt way to put it though.
It is.
Because they say there's nothing smaller
Mhm.
than Yin Yang,
Yeah.
and there's nothing larger than
Mhm.
it.
Mm. One of my favorite quotes from one of the ancient texts was, if you understand Yin and Yang in its entirety, you've unlocked the secrets of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
But that also tells you just how complex Yin Yang is.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So,
It's honestly a lifetime study.
Yeah.
You begin with the basics of Yin and Yang theory,
Mm-hmm.
and then you realize that you can take it to the nth degree,
Yeah.
and you can start to break everything down
Yeah.
in your life from that perspective.
Mm-hmm. It's the basis of life, basis of lifestyle, basis of Chinese
Mhm.
medicine.
It's also the basis for how we perceive reality.
Mm-hmm.
Our brain.
Yeah.
We have to think in terms of duality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we're literally programmed that way,
Mhm.
right? Our body's ability to maintain homeostasis
Mhm.
is always adjusting from yin to yang, and doing that for us. So our whole experience of reality is actually it's founded on this
Mhm.
principle.
Yeah. How do you say Yin Yang in Chinese?
In Chinese, it's just yin yang.
Yin Yang.
Yeah, there's no and. It's just yin yang.
Wait, who says and?
Westerners.
Oh, oh my God! Wait, they do. They do say yin and yang.
Yin and yang, right?
But it kind of makes sense, right?
It does. There is a flow to how it sounds too, right? I know when I say it in English, I say yin and yang all the time. If I say it in Chinese, it's always yin yang. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it would have to be yes and kind of concept of like yin and but yang, right? To be truly encompassing what yin and yang is in relation to each other, right?
It's pretty deep, yeah.
I mean, okay, Yoda.
You just lost me for half a second there. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
Because yin cannot exist without yang,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
But yin and yang are wholly separate concepts that coexist to create balance and harmony.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, pure yin doesn't exist
No.
in nature. Pure yang doesn't exist in nature.
I mean, even if you draw the yin yang, the Tai Chi symbol, there's a little bit of yang inside the yin, and vice versa. So you cannot truly exist without the other.
Right.
They have to
Can
coexist.
we go back a little bit? You just called it the Tai Chi symbol. Can we talk a little bit about that?
I feel like this is more your forte.
Okay.
Because you know, you guys know Jeff is my shifu for Tai Chi and Qigong, so I'll let you take the first.
So what we refer to as the yin and yang symbol is actually classically called the Tai Chi symbol. The two characters Tai and Ji, it means the grand ultimate or the extreme end of something, right? And to me, that means one of the greatest points we can achieve is this harmony of yin and yang. And also, Tai Chi is the same Tai Chi as in Tai Chi. They pronounce it Chi in the West, but it's actually Tai Chi. Yeah, so Tai Chi is the martial art founded on the principle of harmonizing yin and yang.
It's interesting. We use the same characters in Korean that you do in Chinese culture, but your Tai is how we say Te, and then Gu is Ji. So Tai Chi, in Korean we say Taegu. So it's same thing. It's extreme ends.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the Korean flag, also you have the Tai Chi, and then you have the Bagua symbols.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And even how you say yin yang in Korean is different. Yin is so it's yang, not yin yang.
How integrated is yin yang in the daily lifestyle of Koreans? And I ask that because it's very prominent in Chinese philosophy, right? But actually modern day Chinese people, they don't really care about it. They don't think about it. They don't view the world in that way, really. So I'm wondering if it's that way in Korean culture as well.
I think it's hard to leave something that's ingrained generationally in culture, right? Which is why when you say like wind strike, we know exactly what that means, even though you and I are both Americanized, right? Same thing. I think there is an absolute understanding of yin yang in Asian culture. Predominantly in Korea, it is, not great to drink iced coffee, but we do it. Like, okay, we do it. I do it.
Hot tea for me.
But it's okay. But we temper that by we don't do certain things. Like we don't like the AC. We don't do XYZ. So if we're drinking externally, we're warmed up. We have shoes and like house slippers, but we have socks. So anytime you go to somebody's house, you would never walk in barefoot, even if we wore sandals, right? We take off the shoes and then we'd have a pair of socks in our bag. And we put socks on to go in. It's a show of respect, but also we don't let our barefoot touch cold ground because that is where kidney 1 starts. That's the root of all of it.
Yep.
So yes, for everybody judging me right now about this iced coffee in hand, you bet your ass I'm gonna get another one. But I do other breathing, and I'm very yang dominant, so I think that's also another thing that we have to take into consideration. what might not be good for a lot of people is not 100% the case, because your constitution is very different, right? So again, everything in moderation, but according to your constitution, your lifestyle is also going to make a very big difference. So drink the iced coffee, okay? Like, enjoy it. Drink the hot tea if that's what you want, but don't force yourself to drink a hot drink because that's what everybody on TikTok and Instagram are telling you. If it's making you miserable, cortisol level strikes are actually way worse than just drinking an iced coffee and then exercising or doing Neigong to kind of offset that, right?
And also, just to add on, everyone has strengths and weaknesses in their body,
Yes.
right? Some people, if you're blessed with a strong GI, you can drink as much iced coffee as you want and you're going to be fine. If you have strong lungs, you can smoke till you basically die and not get lung cancer.
The medical association would not agree with that. For the younger people watching, wait till you're older.
I don't smoke, by the way. I'm not condoning smoking, I'm just saying.
No, but I think there is truth to that, because I know my friend's dad smokes and drinks like a crazy person, right? Like 2 packs a day, every day. But the next day, he'll go climb a mountain, do his Tai Chi at the top of the mountain, come down, eat 3 like very hearty, very good meals, and he'll drink like 3 bottles of soju, and then repeat cycle. He went to go get his physical. His like physical health is like in his 30s, and this man is pushing 70 something. So constitutionally,
it matters.
Yeah.
There's very few people like that, so you are most likely not one of those people. But hey, if you are, then you know.
I mean, but I also think that there's a difference of different countries having different regulations for stuff. Like, I can drink 3 glasses of wine in Europe and not leave with a massive hangover or feeling bad, whereas I drink it here and it's not the same, right? So I think there's also a difference of what goes into it and how your mental state is, because on vacation,
for sure,
you can do a little bit more of the luxurious stuff and indulge than you would when you're in a stressful state here.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, yeah, and athletes too, they're way more prone to injury when there's other things going on in their life that's stressing them out.
Yeah. That's how I actually got into the psychology piece for acupuncture.
That's right.
Yeah. Because I was working with, the football team, and they would sustain more injuries, or they wouldn't recover as fast if it was drafting season. And so if their coach would be like, hey, there's so-and-so agent out there in the field, they would make more mistakes, or they would be more stressed out and a little bit more worried and agitated. And I think that causes, again, the psychosomatic piece of mind and body connection. You can't have peaceful mind without a peaceful body, and vice versa.
Right. Yin and Yang, right?
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit more about Yin and Yang. So first of all, let's talk directional. There's a lot of discourse that Yin is right, Lin is left. Which side are you?
Yang, as far as left and right, as far as I understand it, Yang rises on the left, and Yin sinks on the right.
So you're of the concept that Yin is left, and Yang is left and Yin is right.
Yes. Yes.
Conceptually, sure. But if you look at a lot of Chinese medicine articles and blogs, they say Yang is right and Yin is left because it's giving and receiving.
Can you go on? I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's actually, I wanted to make sure that I knew kind of where other people were in line that were not acupuncturists. And if you Google it or you go on ChatGPT, they give you vastly different answers. And so I said, oh, Yin is left. And they were like, correct. Except some old ancient texts like Huangdi Neijing says Yang is left. And I agree with that because Yang rises. And also there's energy. Qi is Yang, right? Blood is Yin. And the way that your blood flows also through arteries and veins, fresh blood versus the detoxing blood, like it's very different. But because most people, I think, are more Yang dominant on the right side, there's a little bit of a concept flip. And so people are starting to say that Yang is your right side.
Okay.
Outside of the conceptual problem of what yang is, what it does. So it's the action items. So yin is receiving, yin is female, yin is the left side, right is the giving hand, so it must be yang.
Mm-hmm.
So even in that discourse, we can't say that they're wrong, right?
Right.
But in ancient texts, how we were trained and educated in the basic foundations, yang is left side.
Yeah.
Yin is right side.
Right. Because I guess going back to how I learned it, when you map out the directions, in the Chinese map, south is on the top, north is on the bottom.
Yes.
The emperor faces south, right? So that means east is on the left, west is on the right. And when you draw out the Taiji symbol on top of that, you have the white part of the Taiji symbol rising on the left, which is the east, which means yang is growing in the east, it's growing in spring. And then when we get to the west, that's where the sun starts to fall.
Yeah.
So that's my orientation for how I think about it.
Yeah. And I would agree. So it was really eye-opening for me to see the discourse. But I saw Reddit. Reddit is a rabbit hole. There's a Reddit thread that says yang is left side because it's left brain, which it commands your right side of the body.
Okay.
And yin commands the right side, which commands the left side of the body. So the brain hemispheres control different sides, right?
Okay.
And so this is coming from a neuroscientist saying this is why yang is left and yin is right, because the brain hemispheres, but the symptom manifestations are in the body that's physically outgoing, but it doesn't change the fact that yang is left side brain. So even neuroscientists are starting to see that there is an orientation. So for the sake of how we like to set our foundation, is how we were trained also, is yang is left side and yin is right side. But not always just direction. As you mentioned, emperor faces the south and north. However you're looking at it, this is the key portion that I'd like you to remember. And again, take what you will and leave what you won't. But it's all relative. Everything is in relation to another, just like yin is in relation to yang, and yang is in relation to yin, right?
Right.
So if you have two women are supposed to be yin, but one is more yin dominant, one is more yang dominant. In relation to those two women, one is yang, one is yin. But in relation to gender being a specific orientation, you see, that's where I think it gets a little dicey, a little bit tricky, is you can orient yourself to see it in both ways, right? And I think that's the beauty of life, though. It's like what I call organized chaos. Also referring to the mess that's currently in my room, but I know where everything is. My mom asked me if I got robbed the other day. But yeah, I think there's no set order, and I think that's the beauty of Chinese medicine. Not to say that you can just say whatever and talk out of your ass and like you're right. It's if you understand in relation to another, it also like applies to humanity, right?
Yeah. It makes the medicine very alive.
Yes.
Because there's not a single situation where you can't break it down into more simple terms. And that really helps when you're diagnosing a really complicated pattern. If you start chasing all the symptoms, you're just completely screwed. So you need the bigger framework of yin and yang to like orient yourself, right? And pick where you're gonna start treatment. Otherwise, it's, I mean, I can't imagine not having yin and yang and trying to parse out something very complicated, to tell you the truth.
I don't think I've ever even considered something so blasphemous. Right? That's like, I'm like clutching my pearls, like hoping my mentor isn't hearing this right now. Like, you do that? Like, but I mean, it is easier to have your set buckets, right? Yin and yang, and from there excess deficiency, internal, external. So then all the extra noise doesn't start polluting what it is that you're trying to do, right? But every practitioner is different. Some people like chasing symptoms until they find the root, and then you have people like us who go straight for the root, and then we understand that the symptoms will fall away by the wayside. So different.
Yeah. What are some basic yin yang differentiations you make with your patients?
I work a lot with mental health, so sleep has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we ask, like, how do you sleep? And everybody's like, oh, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, really? I'm like, yeah, I get like 3 or 4 hours. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound great, but you could get really good quality sleep for 3 or 4 hours. And they're like, no, well, it could be better. So I always ask a very specific set of questions. How do you sleep? They're like, oh, great. I was like, do you have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, or do you feel not well rested when you wake up from sleep?
Mm-hmm.
And it's 3 distinct issues,
Yeah.
even if it falls under sleep, right? And so I'm getting excited because I feel like yin, have you ever been camping?
Yes.
And like on a cold mountain night and you have that really cozy, fluffy sleeping bag and you only have that cocoon right so your face can breathe and so you like zip up and you look like a little earthworm.
Yeah.
So I always say yin is that really soft, plush sleeping bag. So when you're ready to go to sleep, you're like, okay, I've enjoyed this, the campfire is down, everything is safe and sound, and you lie down, you zip up, and you're like, you feel nice and toasty. And then you feel this sharp, cold, biting breeze on your toe, you're like, what the? It's cold. And you start looking, and you think that the zipper didn't go all the way, but you realize there's a hole in your sleeping bag. That is your incomplete yin. And so it doesn't matter how cozy you are, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to get good sleep because the yin slowly comes to power and your yang is like, okay, I'm in safe hands. And so it shuts down. But when your yin does not fully encase and a little bit of yang is going through, that's why you have the racing thoughts, the what we call reality TV dreams, where it's like an extension of your really stressful day, or your shen is racing on all cylinders while your body is asleep. So I call it like the twilight zone. It's a parallel universe where your body is resting, but your brain is like, nope, and it keeps going. So your yang is not fully shut down.
Right.
And so that's that little cold, annoying breeze that's getting into your body and keeping you from fully enjoying that sleep. So you wake up disgruntled, slamming that snooze button like 60 million times, and you're like, fuck, I don't want to go to work right now. You're not getting good sleep. But that's because your yin is not able to fully do its job because whether the yang is too strong or the yin is not strong enough. And that's another discussion that I like to go into a little deeper. But that's how I equate a lot of sleeping with the yin and yang.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, yeah. And just to segue on your point, the yin in nature is naturally starting to increase at nighttime, right? So our body's physiology is supposed to mimic that. And I think what you're alluding to is it's starting to, but there's just that little bit of sun that just will not go down below the horizon. It's like, hey, I'm here. Oh, this light, I'm still here. I'm not going down. So
it's, but again, the funny part is some people will say, oh, it's because you have too much yang. Some people could also say that you don't have enough yin. They don't mean the same thing though, right? So I think that's why when you meet an acupuncturist or you meet a partner in your health journey, wherever it is, it just makes sense because if you have the same frequency as the other person, then it's going to click and lock in. But that's why, like, I don't believe in knocking on like other perspectives. Just because it's not my perspective doesn't mean it's a wrong perspective. It just means it's not the experience and journey that I've been on, right? But whether you treat a yang deficiency or a yin excess or vice versa, you're going to get good results. You just might not get the best results. So good, better, bad, figuring out the nuances of yin and yang and its shading, right?
Yeah, clinically, as long as you're semi in the right direction, you're gonna get some sort of results, right? But it's also possible you go in the complete opposite direction, which is a danger of yin and yang theory, because you could get it totally flipped. And there's like one miscalculation in there. So.
And it's terrifying, but it does happen. I think if you misunderstand the bigger buckets of yin and yang
Yes,
and what
yes,
they are
yes.
separately, it's dangerous to try to lump them together, because then you do, is it true yin or is it false yin? Is it true yang or is it false yin? And not, no offense, but like life isn't so sweet that it's like one bucket only, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have true
Yeah.
yin with a little bit of true yang or false yang, and
We're-
then it starts to,
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah, no, you're fine.
But true yin and true yang, I think we have to go into that. I don't think
Are they ready
our
for
yin
it?
yangs.
You
Now
call
or
them
never,
yin
right?
yangs. Oh my
Now or
god.
never.
See, he's locked in. You guys are yin yangs
That's
now
right.
forever.
I'm here.
I love it.
Yeah, true yin and true yang.
Okay.
I think that's a concept that we definitely need to expound on.
Let's break it down, just so that. Do you believe that true yin and true yang exist? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. But we just told our yin yangs that they cannot exist without each other. So is there such thing as a true yin and true yang? Or what is it in relation to what you're trying to tell us?
The way I understand true yin and true yang is true yang is the yang that's buried inside of the yin in terms of the Taiji symbol, and true yin is that which is buried in the yang.
Sure.
And the reason they describe it as true is because, and this goes back to one primary concept in Chinese medicine. We have the idea that yang by its nature goes up and out, right? It floats away. Yin's nature is to go down and in, right? So if you leave yin and yang to their own nature, they separate. And that separation causes death. So there's no continuation after that.
Yeah.
So in order for yin and yang to keep existing, actually yang needs to be inside of yin, and yin needs to be inside of yang. Otherwise, the yang will just float away. So what makes it the true yang is that it is buried inside this massive yin to contain it. And then vice versa, you have it's like the when rain is falling down, you have the vapor that goes up. Without that yin to bring it back down as rain, then that'll disperse, right? So that's kind of how I understand true yin and true yang, just in terms of metaphors.
So it sounds like an anchor within its counterpart.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Like you'd have to have the true essence and core to be able to anchor, because yeah, yin and yang separation equals death.
Right. For yang to truly express itself physiologically the way it's meant to in nature, it needs to be under the yin, right? So how would you, like, where do you go when you're thinking true yin and true yang?
So I think that conceptually, and this is where it gets a little bit complex, concepts of Taiji, of yin yang, are very simple to the point of being complex, right? But when I apply it to real life or to patient situations, I don't think there's anything that's comparable or explained that it's true yin or true yang. So what I take from the concept of true yin and true yang versus what's applicable to real life is there's a little bit of a difference. So are there signs and symptoms of true yin within a patient? No, I don't think so. But the person itself, it's how much true yin is contained within their yang, that I'm seeing either shen disturbances or physical ailments, or it's how much is bleeding out because the true yin is not contained well and true yang is contained well, right? So if someone says, oh, I'm true yin or true yang, false, you cannot be. But I can see differences in how much true yin is being contained by the yang. But again, it's all relational, because true yin has to have this layer of yang to be able to anchor it, but allow this to continue to be yang in nature. But if there is a bleed through and it's starting to mix and it's no longer true yin and yang separation, then you're going to have different symptom manifestations. So I think that's the part that it's almost like a scavenger hunt for me. I like to understand where it's bleeding through.
Okay.
So is there too much true yin, or is there not enough of a yang? And vice versa, of course. But yeah, it's hard.
It's hard, and this concept is,
yeah, this is tough.
For people that aren't in clinic. I can't even imagine like how they're interpreting these, and I'm scared to give my take on like the clinical reality of treating it, because I just feel like I'm gonna start losing people.
So, I mean, basic concepts of yin and yang are: yin is cold, dark, receiving, feminine. Yang is masculine. Everything on the opposite spectrum. And I say that with quotes, right? And that's a good framework, I think, to work with. But it's the nuanced differences, right?
Yeah.
That how deep can we...
Let me take a crack at it.
Okay, all right, good luck. Off to the races we go.
Okay, so I'm going to define true yang as physiological yang. Yang that's in the place it's meant to be in.
Okay.
So that means yang that's moving, that's attached to blood, because blood is supposed to heat your body up.
Yeah.
Right? It's supposed to bring nourishment and life.
Sure.
Right? So as long as the yang is contained within that blood, I'm going to call that true yang, because that's where it's supposed to be. The problem is when it becomes pathological, the yang will float out.
Okay.
It'll leave the blood. So then you have manifestations of, for example, your insomnia case, right? That yang is now floating out. It's not going back inwards like it should be at night. So therefore that becomes a false yang, right? So I'm going to define true yang as where it should be physiologically, and false yang as a pathological state. So pathological yang would be anything where you have a manifestation of heat or burning. You could have acne, you could have canker sores, you can have whatever infections going on anywhere. That's yang that's not contained where it should be. It is now like an inflammatory state. So I hope that was relatively simple and easy to digest.
I'm itching to play devil's advocate a little bit
Let's
here.
do it, yeah.
Because you're saying yang and blood, but if you think about it, and this is the foundations professor in me coming out, yang is chi,
I knew we were
yin is blood.
I knew we were
Therefore, you
Let's go into it.
really,
Let's go into it.
okay,
Yeah, let's go
because
into it.
I want to, but okay, we have to be very careful to not overload, right?
I'm going to try to explain it without overloading.
Okay.
I know where you're going with this.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'll let you go first.
So I think about it in terms of function versus material. Okay, so we have another yin yang differentiation right here. You can think of qi and blood from a material perspective, then qi is more yang, blood is more yin. If you think of qi and blood from a functional perspective, actually, I think it's the opposite. I think it flips. I
don't agree.
I think blood's function is to warm. It's to warm and invigorate and bring life. Whereas the function of qi is actually to descend down the body, to help the functional aspects of the yang organs that are supposed to be open and clear.
Yeah, but qi itself is energy, it's yang, it's an action, right? Qi and blood.
Materially, yes.
Qi and blood is like a cowboy and its horse. the blood is the horse. Qi is your cowboy, right? And they have to function together because qi, qi tells the blood where to go, right? So if you think about it, blood, if I'm riding my horse and I get thrown off, right? The horse is going to do one of two things. It's going to run away or it's going to sit there and stay. Cowboy I'm going to keep going. I know where I'm going. I have autonomy, so I'm going to keep going. But how far can I really go on my two legs that I would have gone distance with a horse, right? So again, blood doesn't have an actionable function. It's to go where the qi tells me to go, right? That's why you have reckless bleeding, you have stagnation, but you never have it going backwards, right? It's either it stays and it pools, or it just goes wherever it wants to. Qi has different functionalities because it's an action. So in that concept alone, right, we do just highlight there's yin and yang functions within qi, yin yang functions within blood, but they themselves are separated into yin versus yang.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So again, and this is, again, not to say like Jeff is right and Jeff is wrong, I'm usually more right, but this is the concept, right? This is how difficult, even for people practicing. How long have you been practicing now?
About 10 years.
Yeah. So 14, 10, roughly the same. It's where you understand and apply it to your own life, but also how it was taught to you by your masters and your mentors, right? So again, there is such a beauty in Chinese medicine that we could argue about this for days. We could also back each other up for days because it is the same but different type of concept, right? So everything for me within yin and yang is that it's relational.
Yes.
So
that we can agree on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so how you put that into words and how you apply that, which is why you're better with certain patients that you wouldn't be so great if you saw my patients, because we attract same type of people that have been on similar journeys, right? That's why you have friends that are like similar. It's so difficult though, and I could play devil's advocate all day, and I know you could too, just because that is the beauty of yin and yang for me, right? It's not just black and white.
Yeah, no, totally. And it helps that you're playing devil's advocate because I think the listeners out there, they'll have the same questions in their head.
Are who?
Are yin yang?
I love hearing it. I'm like, yes, say it again. But I want it to be a concept where you can play with and ask questions, right? Show curiosity. If somebody tells you, oh, yin is this and yang is that, okay, play a little devil's advocate. Be like, compared to what?
Yeah.
And
because that helps flesh out your understanding.
Yes.
Because you have to ask these questions, because there's no way your brain can like digest all of this in one sitting. You have to keep asking like, well, what about this? And what about this situation? And then what happens when you switch it to that situation?
And you shouldn't just absorb everything you're told, right? Like, just because I tell you to do something doesn't mean you should just do it without asking, right? Ask why, ask how, ask for what.
Yeah, because it doesn't become yours until you've digested it, and then you can spit it back out in your own words, right?
Yeah. So I think that's the difference of like just accepting and regurgitating, right? And that's an easy way to start. I think that's always a good, if you never know what to do, see something that works and then copy paste.
Yeah, we all have to start there with everything.
Copy paste.
Yeah, for sure.
But then you're gonna see that, okay, this doesn't fit here, this doesn't fit here, and as long as it's within the same framework of like right and wrong concepts, you have to make it yours, right? We might like pink, but a shade lighter than this might be better than a shade darker than this, right? Same pink. But it's the shades, it's the nuances of what we're putting into it that make it such an interesting life. Right?
Yeah. I mean, the whole idea of you seeing pink is probably not what I'm seeing as pink.
What are you seeing?
I'm just saying, like, how you're perceiving this microphone and how that color filters into your brain is probably not the same way, not the same image that I'm seeing in my head.
Unless you're colorblind, I would say colors are pretty
What I'm trying to say, there's gradations to how we both experience the universe, right?
Sure. Okay. I'm gonna be a little bit of a stickler.
Okay.
And again, I feel like it's so hard. When you get to this level of experience, right, where Jeff and I are, it's easy to say that. But for all of the Yin Yangs who are just experiencing Chinese medicine through these conversations, I think having a hard framework of what is right and wrong is easier to start, because from there you can pair off however much you need. But in the sense of, is this pink? Yes. Is this pink? No. The shades of pink now, are we going to say that this is a dusty rose? Are we going to say that this is a Barbie pink? Or is this a fuchsia? Or whatever it is. That's with experience, understanding what pink is and what pink isn't. So I just want to make that little bit of a distinction, because Jeff and I have gone through extensive training. We've both board certified. We've done our different types of research and journeys and clinical experience to say that there's different shades, right? But for those of you who are just now starting this journey, figure out what your pink is, right? Figure out what your black, your white, your pink, your grays are. And then from there, we can do different gradations. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm,
yeah, so,
yep.
Because it gets way too overwhelming to jump in and be like, well, what type of pink is this? If you don't even know what pink is, right? And Yin and Yang is something that is so complex and so dense that we want to make it, I have to say it, as black and white as possible. Okay.
I'm with it.
But yeah,
I'm with it.
You know.
Yeah, no, it's the same for Tai Chi training as well, and for everything. You put the building blocks in place first.
My poor legs. I'm not ready for the horse dance, man.
Yeah, your legs are in for it. But yeah, no, you get the building blocks in place first, and then you can start filling in the rest of the drawing, right? And that goes for everything.
Yeah. It's like you have a blank piece of paper, you're going to draw an outline, and then you're going to color it in, right? You can't just start with colors if you don't have the outline.
Yep.
That was kind of smart, right?
You're on fire today, man.
Okay.
Iced coffee?
I think we're on to something.
I gotta drink some iced coffee for the next episode, man. Let's see what happens.
Oh my gosh, I will do. No, I will consider doing a hot drink. I don't know. I feel like I'm too much on fire to add more.
Let's wait for peak summer. I'll do the iced coffee. You do a hot tea.
Like, so there's a saying in Korean which is "이열 치열," which means hot to combat hot, cold to combat cold. So you eat hot foods on a hot day to cool down your system, and you eat cold on a cold to combat that.
Interesting.
I don't do it, but I say that's a concept.
They actually say in Chinese medicine, like, it's natural to think, oh, it's hot, let me drink something cold.
Yeah.
But in Chinese medicine, they would say in the summer, where you're the hottest, your yang is actually on the outside of your body. Your circulation is more on the outside, leaving the internal organs, the inside, the core body temperature actually lower. Yeah. So you should be more careful about drinking cold things in the summer. Yeah. So that's just another example of how this yin yang keep manifesting in real life.
I like that. Oh man, did I ever show you my Yin Yang tattoo?
I think I would have saw it, yeah. I didn't know that was a Yin Yang tattoo.
So this is my very first tattoo. I did it in Miami, and I like stars. So I did this to remind myself that not everything is black and white in life. And for me, that's always been an ongoing lesson, because for me, it's either you're right or you're wrong. And then once you figure out whether that is, then you figure out why you got there. The why for me was always important. But for instance, somebody's like, oh, hey, he just killed a man. That is very different from he killed a man out of self-defense, right? At the end of the day, he still killed somebody, right? That fact does not change. So now, when you go in there, was it voluntary or involuntary? Was it to preserve his own life, or was he just taking a life, right? So that's kind of the way that I view Yin and Yang also, in the context of it. It's, okay, you did what you did. Why did you do that? Yeah. Right? So, like stealing. I steal food. Would you do it just for fun, or because you have 2 starving kids at home, right? Doesn't change the fact that you're wrong. Stealing is wrong. But why you did it also gets taken into effect with like leniency, but not just the law, but in our hearts as well. Because
Right.
immediately if I'm like, oh my God, he just killed somebody. You're like, wow, what a piece of shit. Like, why could he do that?
Mhm.
And it's like, no, he invaded his home, he had his wife at gunpoint, and so he had to kill him out of self-defense.
Yeah.
That puts a lot of different things into perspective, right?
Yeah.
So again, just circling back to how yin and yang can be so black and white, but then have all these shades of gray, black and white is really like outside of Chinese medicine. So I just have to remind myself that not everybody is black and white in that sense. They all have things going on that, and some people are just bad, some people are just really good, but most of the time we do things because of our circumstances and whatever else, and that's the same concept for yin and yang.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. It's very much a perspective thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's always changing. It's like I think we as people, we like to just make things concrete.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like to address the fact that everything's always on
Yeah.
this moving spectrum.
Yeah. It's easier, you know. I think
It
that's-
is, yeah. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
let's pass judgment, we're done,
Yeah.
let's move on to the next
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah. But I also feel like it's because we're so burnt out. We can't even connect with our own feelings. Why should we give the even little bit of luxury we do have for ourselves to somebody else? And I think that's why I was like, okay, whatever. You did what you did, man. Okay, that has nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so we move on. So I do have a question though. We can talk about yin and yang and drinking hot tea and not drinking iced coffee and all that stuff, but how do you nourish your yin?
With my mind.
Yeah.
For me, everything starts in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to nourish yang, you do it from the mind.
Mm-hmm.
You want to nourish yin, you do it from the mind.
Mm.
So, and this is going to be especially important in the Tai Chi training, is that everything is mind.
Yeah.
So to increase your body's yin capacity, you have to use your mind to soften,
Mm-hmm.
right? To increase your yang capacity, you use your mind to push outwards more. And I think if your mind is setting the stage, your body just follows. Because your mind entering a yin state, everything else tracks after that. So for me, it's how can I maintain a sense of calm and peace at all times? Then I feel like I'm always nourishing my yin. How do I maintain a state of awareness and perception and paying attention? Then I'm also nourishing my yang at all times. So in that way, I feel like I'm yin and yang all the time. Yeah. And how would you answer that question?
I like your approach with everything starting in the mind. I mean, I do. That's the basis of it. But I think we don't know how to breathe. It's something so basic, right? Like, but I don't think we as people, me, you included, I don't think we know how to breathe the right way. It's so like short or fast, or you are like taking in deep sighs or like deep breaths because you feel like you're running out of air. I don't think we know how to do intentional breathing, right? So to nourish yin, the easiest thing is I just say close your eyes and just take a deep breath. Like really just, but the difference between just deep breathing and what I like to call intentional breathing, so most of my clients will do intentional breathing, but it's just like, do it with me. Just close your eyes. You can sit comfortably, right? You don't have to like sit up or anything, but like just sit comfortably. And some people like their palms up, some people like them down in front of your stomach or whatever. The easiest thing though is take one hand, put it over your chest, put one hand on your stomach, close your eyes, and take a deep breath in through your nose. And just visualize that breath going in through your nose, down your throat, into your chest, all the way until it connects with that hand on your stomach. And then as you exhale, you're going to imagine that it's going to go from your stomach back to your chest, and this time it's going to go up your throat and out of your mouth. So we're going to exhale with our mouth, and we're going to do a slower exhale than we did an inhale. do you feel?
I feel like I could stay like here for a long time.
Yeah. So for people that don't really know where to start, I call it 7-10. I know there's like a 6 and 8, but I like intervals of 5.
Okay.
And I like the number 7. I'm old school, so I like lucky number 7. But 7 seconds in through your nose as you visualize, and it's like almost like drawing a color using, if you had a crayon, you're gonna draw all the way down and all the way through. And you hold it for 3 seconds, then you exhale for 10, really depressing all the air out of your body, and that forces your body into a state of regulation. And so that's how you nourish yin, because one, your mind is not thinking about the thousands of things that you should be doing or could be doing or things that you forgot, but it's just you're focusing on counting, and then also you're visualizing drawing a line. So your mind and your body are now one. And then when you exhale that out, you exhale. And then we get a little bit deeper into it. I do intentional breathing of like, breathe in all the things that you're like happy or blessed about, and exhale all the things that you're worried about. Because chi for me is the building block of life, it's energy, right? But it's the action, the intentions of, again, using your mind to do that. So for me, it's just breathing. I don't need you to like stand up in the middle of your office in front of like 40 other people and start like dancing like a crazy person, but you can take a moment just to sit at your cubicle. And just, you don't have to like sit up straight or anything, just sit comfortably and breathe, right? So that's like
I love that. Yeah,
that's just like my take.
And I think the more you do that too, the more it will become natural.
Yeah.
Like the more you just start to do that without taking time specifically to do that, you know. And I think that's the point of a lot of things. Like if they're good things to do, we practice it so that it becomes a natural thing. And then we can just kind of ride that, and we don't have to spend extra energy to practice it.
I like that. I mean, again, 7-10 works for me, and it's a good starting point. But if you want to do 10-15, or you want to do 4-6, whatever it is, take this. And I always say, take what you will, leave what you won't, but try it. If it feels right, stick with it. If it doesn't, play around with it until it's yours, right? None of these are mine. It's just what fits with you, what fits with your journey, and that's how you figure shit out.
Yeah, I think play with it is big. And I think that's the part that people get tripped up on. It becomes a chore, becomes a responsibility, it becomes, oh, I have to do this, I'm too stressed out. But actually, if you really just take the time to pay attention to what you're doing, you'll find enjoyment in it. It's fun playing around with this mechanism we have, what we call a body, right? It's incredible. We have all these experiences we can play around with. But I think we take it for granted too.
Most oftentimes, I would say so. All right.
That's the Chi Talks. Keep detoxing and let your body do what it do.
Bye, Yin Yangs.